Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Bryan, we talk about here on this radio program the complexity that is a retirement plan. For so many of us savers investors, when we're working, it's just saved our 401k, invest, look for good quality stocks, and have a good cash fund. But when it comes to our retirement, there is a whole lot of other things that come into the planning process. And one of those that you help us with, you are a family man, you've got 2 daughters, and you understand the importance of a person that comes to you and says, hey, Bryan, I want to make smart moves for myself now, but also thinking about my family in my legacy planning process. We are also in the midst of an unprecedented time as far as wealth transfer happening in this country. You probably heard about it. They call it the Great Wealth Transfer. 84 trillion with a T. $84 trillion are being passed from the baby boomers onto younger generations over the course of the next 20 years. Some of that money will be passed on in the form of IRAs. And tax guru Ed Slott was telling Morningstar, you want to be sure it's a Roth IRA.
Those are the best assets to inherit because under this 10-year rule for beneficiaries, most beneficiaries, non-spouses, have to empty the inherited account now after the Secure Act by the end of the 10th year after death. Same thing with an inherited Roth. But they can keep that inherited Roth growing for the full 10 years. They never have to touch it and take it out, all that accumulated growth and compounding, absolutely income tax-free.
Bryan, what are you seeing when it comes to folks in the office talking to you about inherited IRAs? Are clients using this kind of IRA and setting up a tax-free future for their families? What's the value in that?
Well, let's explain what an inherited IRA for folks that understand. Mm-hmm. But basically you have 2 IRAs, right? You got a traditional IRA, all the money that went in, you got a tax break on, in other words, tax deferred. Yep. And down the road, when you draw it out, you'll pay taxes on it. But it grows tax deferred until that time, like your 401k. But if you add the old lovely word, the R word, and I'm not talking risk, but the Roth word to it, what you're doing there is you're putting money in, you're paying taxes on the seed, right? Yep. Not the harvest. Yep. So the money going in is already taxed before it goes in there. And then all the money inside that account will grow tax free. And that means Roth 401k, Roth IRAs, all of those things grow tax-free. So every year you're contributing to it, you're paying taxes on the money going in, but from that point on, it's going to grow tax-free and withdraw tax-free. So that being said, an inherited Roth or an inherited IRA, but we'll just stick with Roth. What would you rather have? $1 million in an IRA, traditional, coming to you from your family? Now, we want our family first, don't misunderstand me. Mm-hmm. Or would you rather have a Roth IRA come to you? And in that Roth IRAs, you have a decade, if it's inherited, a decade, 10 years from next January. Let's say I passed away today and my daughter inherited that Roth IRA from me. We're not talking spousal.
I was about to say that the spouse.
After the spouse.
These rules don't apply to your spouse, right?
No, your spouse just continues the regular Roth IRA.
Okay.
But my daughter would, if myself and my wife were gone, mm-hmm. my daughter, both of them, I'll just use one, but I have 2, like you said. Yeah. My daughters, let's do it that way.
Okay.
They would get that $1 million and they'd each get $500,000 in a tax-free account. They can draw off of it. And if they're not funding an IRA at that time, saying maybe they got a degree in dance or something and they're still waiting tables or whatever, and they got to making ends meet, then they're in a position where they can take out a portion of it tax-free.
Okay.
Up to $7,000, $450, and start their own Roth IRA with that Roth IRA. Or they can even wait 10 years and just keep managing that money properly. And at the end of 10 years, let's say that $500,000 is now $2 million. Mm-hmm. They take all that out tax-free. They have that whole $2 million it built to in that period of time. Of course, that would be really good returns, but they'd have that whole $2 million come to them after 10 years. That's the rule. You got 10 years to get it out, but you can take it all out at once. Well, if that's a regular IRA, you're not going to wait till the end to take it all out. You're going to be smart about it. So I know if it's traditional and you have to pay taxes, then you're going to be drawing on that throughout that 10 years so that at the end, you don't pull out $2 million. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it gives you an opportunity to really grow that money and not worry so much about the ebbs and tides of the market, and grow that money properly with the proper structured portfolio, and really have a nice nest egg that is tax-free when it comes out. Then only the interest after you have to pull it out of that inherited IRA, only the interest from that point would be subject to tax.
Okay.
What a great feeling. Okay. So Roth IRAs are a wonderful thing. And right now, Heather, a lot of people aren't thinking about it, but they need to be thinking about it. If you're 65 and your spouse, both of you are 65, you get that additional $6,000 with the big, beautiful bill, as long as your income requirements fit. What I mean by that is if you're a married couple, up to $150,000 in income, you get an additional $12,000. If you're both 65, an additional $12,000 of standard deduction. Standard deduction's around $33,000 now. It's $45,000. That gives you an opportunity for Roth conversions. So in other words, you have IRAs you don't have to take out until you're 75, 73 or 75, right?
That's the
depending
required
on your
minimum
age.
distribution age. Yep.
Good point. IRAs are required minimum distributions. So say you have $200,000-$300,000 in an IRA, you'll be able to most likely take those funds and move them in a conversion manner over to a Roth, depending on your expenses. Say you're a married couple, you both collect about $62,000 total in Social Security. Okay. You could convert under the new rules up to about $26,000, $27,000 of your traditional IRA and not pay 1 penny in tax. So it's just this next 4 years, folks, is a hot time. A lot of people come to see me. They're sitting down and I'm able to show them, look, you could convert this much and pay zero in tax. You could pay a little bit of tax and now you can convert a lot more. And then if you paid a medium amount in tax, you could really convert a big chunk of your IRA into a Roth. And at the end of this 4 years, have about 100, 200, 250,000 in a Roth IRA. Folks, this is a hot time to think Roth conversions. Plus, in the future, that inherited IRA that your kids will receive will be tax-free, and they'll have a decade to grow it before they have to take any out. So it's a great time. 336-586-5861. If you think you're paying too much in taxes, and most people do, you need to give this number a call, 336-586-5861. And when we look at how much you can convert into a Roth IRA.
A lot of people around the Piedmont Triad feel the same way. By the time you get to retirement, you have paid your fair share. You have paid enough in taxes. Of course, we've all got to do what we're obligated to, but you shouldn't have to pay a penny more than that. And this is why Bryan and his team are doing what they do, working to find you ways to be more tax efficient in retirement. So if you want your own retirement tax plan review, one that's customized to your savings plan, give us a call right now, 336-586-5861. Just a couple more minutes before we got to go, Bryan, but quickly, end of year stuff. What do we need to be thinking as far as tax planning and Roth as we get into Q4 of the year?
You know, you need to think in terms of, can I max out a Roth?
Okay.
Does it make sense for me? Okay. If you work on your own, there are income limits, so you got to be careful. Yeah. Make sure you don't cross the income limits. A married couple's around $238,000. If they make over that and they're independent and they're contributing to a Roth IRA, well, you can't do it. They won't let you.
Okay.
So you got to look at the income limits. But what you really, I'll give you an example. A guy came in a few years back and he inherited an IRA, and now he just turned 67. And he was thinking, well, I'll just use that to supplement my income. I said, well, hold on a minute. Are you going to take Social Security? And he said, yeah, most likely I'll go ahead and take Social Security. I said, you could take that $110,000, get a little bit more than what your Social Security is going to pay you for 3 years if you broke it in 3 parts and you paid it to yourself 67, 68, 69, then you turn 70 and start taking your Social Security, and you'll get a 24% raise on Social Security money, which is much more tax favorable because he inherited about $110,000 from his father. Hey, why don't we put off, since you're retiring at 67, let's put off taking Social Security and use that money, take out bigger chunks, use that money in place of the Social Security. And now your Social Security grows from age 67 to age 70, 24% more, and it's much more tax favorable. You know what else he's going to get out of that, or his wife's going to get out of that?
What's that?
In the event he passes away, she gets that larger of the 2 Social Securities.
Got it.
So it's a great survivor benefit for the spouse and for him too, because he'll have a larger one than if he took his own 67. If she passed away first, because one of the Social Securities go away. So when it comes to Roth IRAs, folks, if you like tax-free, then you need to investigate, is it a fit for you? And if you have a 401k, one more thing I want to tell you, you can contribute to that Roth 401k at work regardless of your income. So think about it that way. And most people, all it is, if somebody would, don't be one of those people. So I wish somebody would have told me. Folks, 336-586-5861. We'll assess your situation and we'll help you understand the best way to go about funding a Roth IRA.
Bryan and his team, they are here to show you what your options might be in the way of reducing what you owe to Uncle Sam in the years ahead. Let's get to work. That number you're dialing right now, 336-586-5861. If you're within 5 to 10 years of retirement, if you've saved $500,000 or more, this is where you're really going to see the benefits of this kind of tax planning kick in and take effect. So let's get a time on the calendar for your own retirement tax plan review. 336-586-5861. You can also find us anytime at gaiserfinancial.com and start the conversation that way as well. That's GAISER financial.com, or call now 336-586-5861.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit gaiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.